أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، أحمده حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه، وأصلي وأسلم على خير خلقه وآله وصحبه ومن سار على نهجه واقتفى أثاره إلى يوم الدين. My dear brothers and sisters, last week we talked about the importance of the dua, especially in Ramadan. After I finished the class last week, I received a message telling a story. It is a true story according to the messenger, the one who sent me the message. And that belonged to the dua. The story said, there is one of the most famous doctors in the subcontinent. I don't want to mention the country, but in that region, you know the subcontinent. Do you know the subcontinent? Very, very important and famous doctor. There was a conference somewhere in Europe, and he has to go to the conference. So he put his luggage and he went to the airport, take the flight. After maybe 1 hour of the flight, the weather changed badly and one of the lights struck the flight. So the pilot said, we have to have emergency landing anywhere nearby. So they still in subcontinent, and one of the airports around that area, the aeroplane stopped there. And the doctor said to the reception, look, I have a meeting and I have an important conference. I have to go to it. And they said, what do you want us to do? Already the airplane has a problem. The light strike one of the motors of it and it doesn't go. And it needs hours until we fix it. But I tell you, you can take a car and drive 3 hours to the other airport, and from there you can take a flight. And 3 hours only drive. You solve your problem instead of waiting and crying and say, we have an important meeting and this and that. He said, Wallah, it's a good idea. He hired a car and drove But again, as I said to you, the weather was very bad. Raining and lights and this and that and storm coming from every direction. So by that he lost his direction. In 3 hours' time he find himself in nowhere. He stopped, he's tired and confused, and he said, I have to have a place to rest. So he find a little light coming from a town, from a house. So he drove to that area, and he find very humble house. Knocked the door, and a lady answered from inside saying, the door is open, you can enter. So he entered, and I am lost, I don't know where I am. Can I use your phone? And she smiled in his face, and you can, in this area, find the phone. What are you talking about? Phone? We don't have electricity here. Better than that, my son, you look tired and confused. Sit and have some tea and relax, and after that maybe you think better. He said, yes, you are right. She asked him, are you hungry? He said, well, I am hungry. She said, there is food somewhere, go and eat. So the stove made from wood, you know, the wood stoves, the oldest. There is some food on top of it. He ate, and maybe the most delicious meal he ate ever in his life, it was that meal. Have some tea. And after that, start to talk to the old lady. And that old lady said to him, you know, this is my grandson, and been in the bed for a while now, very sick. And they say to me, the doctors in our region, only one doctor can help you. And she mentioned the name of the doctor. And I couldn't go to that doctor because far distance, and I don't have the means to go. But what I did, I made dua, and every salah I say, Ya Allah, in your way, send me that doctor. And he cried, and he said to her, the Almighty answered your call. He made a problem with my aeroplane, then he made a problem with my driving until I reached to you by my legs. And subhanallah, and they say it is true story. And I believe, even if it is not true story, true stories sometimes more amazing than the fiction stories. Look at Umar radiallahu anhu and his request. He used to make dua, oh Allah, I want to be shaheed and in the town of your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then he said to himself, after he made that dua, you are unbelievable, oh Umar. How a shahada can reach to you in the most secured area in the world? We are attacking everyone, and no one here to dare even to think about attacking Al-Madinah. So from where an enemy come and give me a shahada? And he has to be killed by an enemy. And there's no enemies of hundreds of miles away of Al-Madinah. But when Allah wants to answer the dua, He prepared the means to it. The Al-Abbas has to buy that slave and bring it to Al-Madinah, and that slave get angry with Umar and kill Umar. And not only in Al-Madinah, but he gave him more than what he asked. In the Prophet Mosque, and while he's praying. He asked for one, Allah gave him three. Al-Madinah and the mosque, and more than that, he is leading the salah of Al-Fajr. So don't say, it is possible. It can be. There's nothing called possible or can be. When Allah wants it to be, it will be. And no one can stop that. No one can stop that. So, as I said before, believe in your dua and believe in the one who you are requesting that dua from. Today our talk about different topic. Again, as we always say, Islam is a way of life. A way of life means thinking of you, answering so many of the things, sometimes even you don't talk about it, but Islam knows you need it, and Islam talk about it. In the beginning of the fasting, subhanallah, how much Allah the Almighty tested as-Sahaba, and how much He purified them, and how much He disciplined them. And they succeed in every term in the most beautiful, remarkable way. The fasting was most of their time. And if they sleep even 5 seconds after the Maghrib, after breaking the fast, they cannot eat or do anything, they become fasting again. There's so many famous story in that, in the hadith. So you can go and see it, how the Sahaba were disciplined. One of the Sahaba was very poor and he doesn't have even fasting, working, and doesn't have food at his home. So his wife said to him, after praying Maghrib, I don't have anything to feed you. And she felt sorry for him, say, I might go and ask my neighbors if they have anything spare, I take it and feed it to you. Of course, a man coming from work, tired, hungry, thirsty, while he's waiting for her, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, he dropped asleep. She came with the food, but he can't eat it. And she said to you, I want to bring the food for you and you couldn't hold yourself for 5 minutes. Now you can't eat it. So he slept without food or drink or anything else. You know the third one. You know the third one? So the second day, he was very exhausted. Still has to go to work. So the Prophet ﷺ passed by and see an exhausted Muslim, and he said, what's wrong with you? They told him what happened to him. So he felt sorry for him, and he asked Allah the Almighty to help the Muslims. Though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to us this ayah, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. So that ayah cancel the law before it. So now, as Allah said, you can eat and drink until the Fajr come. Look at their discipline. He didn't go and cheat. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows I am tired, I am this. Just a sip of water. just a mouthful of food, just only little touch. No. Subhanallah, how much hard the test is like that. You sleep beside your wife and she's like a sister to you. You can't touch her. Even you have so much eager to do so, but you don't. Why? Because just you slept for maybe 1 minute or less. And see the Islam, how developed their people to be, especially the Sahaba, to be the real carrier of the message. As I said, and I keep saying that, you see what the Sahaba did, and then you understand these ayat very well. There's no country a Sahaba entered and not become the majority of it Muslims. And the opposite of Tabi'een. Doesn't matter how many countries we open after a Sahaba, we lost most of them. Because the carrier is not the same. Even the history told us that when we wage a war against somebody, they used to ask the first question: do you have some of the companion of the Prophet with you, your Prophet? If they say yes, they surrender immediately. And the allergy of that, why they surrender to the Sahaba? If you study it well, you see that the Sahaba has two things many of us doesn't have. They fight to the end to win the battle, and they are so just when the battle is finished. We might fight, but sometimes our anger, our frustration take our justice out of our hand. So we kill some of the enemy not deserve to be killed. We send pictures to make the people scared of us as we are the worst terrorist people. The Sahaba never do that. The opposite. Even if the enemy is very foxy, mocking person, they used to treat him as a good person. You know the story of Al-Hurmuzan. Al-Hurmuzan was one of the worst leaders, the army commanders of Persia. And many times he used to make a treaty with the Sahaba, with the army of Islam. Then as soon as they leave, he break the treaty. 3 times he did that. And the first time, Umar said, do not put your weapon down until you bring him to me to Al-Madinah. I want to punish him myself. From how much damage he did. You know, when you go and you think your back is secured, then you find the enemy attacking you from the back. It's very bad. So they brought him to Umar. And Umar was sitting in the mosque, and he heard the people of Al-Madinah moving in an unusual move. So he said, what's happening? They say, Allah brought Al-Hurmuzan to you. They didn't say we brought it. Allah brought him to you. He said, bring him inside. They bring him. And he said, you are al-Hurmuzan? He said, yes. He said, you know what I'm going to do to you? He said, I know. I know. He said, why you did that? How many times we make a peace treaty with you? Why you break it and fought the Muslim again? He said, I can't answer you because if I answer you now, you make you more angry, you kill me straight away. You didn't give me a chance. But I want some water, I'm thirsty. He said, give him water. They give him water in one of the cups they use. He looked at him and he said, I will not drink that even if I die from thirst. He's still thinking of himself as a big person. Omar laughed and said, bring him a different cup. Wash the cup very well before you bring it to him. Anyhow, he held the cup and he said, oh Omar, I ask you to give me security that you will never kill me until I drink this water. He said, you are secured. Then he threw the water. He threw the water on the floor. He said, why are you throwing the water? He said, because now I have a treaty from you. He said, you tricked me. He said, well, you give me your word. And the water is spilled, that means you can't kill me. He said, even you mocked me, I'm going to kill you. What you did, there's no chance of you to be safe in Al-Madinah. He said, how if I become a Muslim? He said, if you become a Muslim, you are saved. So he made himself a Muslim. And Umar freed him. Look how just as Sahaba. Even when Umar said, I didn't feel that I give him security. Only I said to him, I will not kill you until you drink. Anas said, oh, Amir al-Mu'mineen, you did. They didn't say, yes, kill him. No, they say, yes, you did. Look how they were, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. So don't be surprised when you hear about them. These are special people. And this is why we get so angry when we hear someone talk about them in an ill way or swear at them or put them down. This is why Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, all the madhahib of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and Al-Ahnaf are the most hard ones of all, that anyone talk about the Sahaba, he's murtad. He's out of Islam. And if he talks about, in particular, about Abu Bakr and Aisha, we will not accept his repentance until we spill him out and take his head and put another head for him. Computer head. How's that? And why? Because they say Al-Quran clearly defend these two people in particular. And if you deny Al-Quran and the Sunnah, that's it. Not you committed apostasy, but it is much worse than that. As same as the one who swear against the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even if he is repenting, the punishment is the same. Only the difference will be that he dies as a Muslim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to us, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. And he put it in the most beautiful words, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنَّ. Why it is important for you to have that? because they are your garment and you are their garment. They are your shield and they are your shield. And you cannot be protected neither from the heat nor from the cold or in other war or whatever without these garments and shield. And the worst enemy against any Muslim, especially the youth, is the desire. Is the desire. This is why we always encourage people, especially the young, to get married early. And don't have this stupid philosophy, I need to fix myself, I need to do this, I need time to finish my uni. You can't do that, and marriage doesn't stop that. Marriage is the opposite, make you more protective. Clearly thinking, because there's nothing in your head to fight you in these things and that thing, especially nowadays in our country here, which the desire is sold free. Nothing free in this country except the desires. For anyone, free. Come and take it. So how we shield our children from that if we don't help them, male and female, not only the male, both they have the same desire. And when you get older, your desire gets older with you. So my desire is not the same as one in his 17 or 18 or 20 or. So you have to look after these kids and open the way for them to have the shield. So Allah protect them from that. Then Allah said, why you have that relation, why you have intercourse with your wife? وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. To have offspring, to have children. Not 6 for 6. No. Enjoyment for no reason whatsoever. No. As you enjoy it, you have your rights. The ummah needs its rights from you. And the ummah's right is to bring her children. To keep the ummah young, fit, strong. Not to find a country like Australia here become aging country. Still too young. It's the youngest country maybe in the world. Or maybe South Sudan younger than it. And aging country, and now they have talking about the problem of the cost of these old people. This is the consequences of desire without rights. But Islam said, no, fulfill your desire. Marry 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. But the ummah has to take its rights from you. And I'm telling you, adding that to you, maybe you don't know it, because some of you fall in that haram. But the condition, we don't want kids. That's haram, not allowed. Not only haram, the whole contract become invalid contract. You cannot say to your wife, I don't want kids. Even if she has, for example, you marry someone has kids, and you marry, and you have kids from another one. So I have enough kids, I don't want more kids. That's not allowed. The ummah has right on you. Not only your wife has right on you, or you have right on your wife. The whole ummah has rights on you. And subhanallah, how are you going to connect the children together? Her children with your children connected by having children with her. So these children will become brothers of these children or sisters of these children and sisters of these children. So you connect the whole family together. But this is not our topic anyhow. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. So do not carry white thread and black thread and look all the night for them and keep eating. No. The white thread and the black thread is the day and the night. Because one of the Sahaba did that. And he went to sleep and put 2 threads under his pillow, and every time he wakes up, he can't see the difference, he go back to sleep. And the second day he went tired to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, tonight I didn't sleep well." He said, "Why?" He said, "Because I kept looking for the thread." And the Prophet ﷺ said to him, "Inna wisadaka la'arid." Your pillow is so wide, because we are talking about al-Mashriq and al-Maghrib, talking about the East and the West. Imagine someone pillow that big. He said it's not a thread of your hand, it is the day and the night. When the day breaks the night, this has become like a line of whiteness coming out of the darkness. The second matter is al-i'tikaf, and maybe al-i'tikaf we talk about it next Friday. It will be much closer to Ramadan and talk about al-i'tikaf. جزاكم الله خيرا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله محمد وآله وصحبه. Any question? Don't ask me about the wives, or this is not the topic, so only ask me about Ramadan.
What's the best time to make dua and what's the time to avoid making dua?
You can make dua any time, except in salah. You can't make dua in a ruku'. Otherwise, you can make dua anytime, anywhere. Of course, except the areas haram to mention the name of Allah, like the toilets and the bathrooms and the dirty areas if you are working with the dirt. But other than that, anytime, it's an open space, unlimited. But there is a preferred time. He should ask, what is the best time to make dua? And the best time, as I mentioned last week, first is when you're breaking your fast, and the second, when you sealed your fast. When you start fasting, which is as-sahar time, before the adhan of al-fajr. And this is when Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam said to his children, سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي. And the scholars say he put سَوْفَ to delay the dua until as-sahar, and the time of as-sahar, يعني السحور, time of the suhoor, which is the last meal before starting fasting. This is you pray 2 rak'ah and you make dua either in your sujood or after the salah, whatever you prefer, it's up to you. But as I said, always think of what you are talking about. And if it is out of the salah, you can make dua in any language you like. So the language is not limiting you. Don't say, I want to make dua in Arabic and I don't know much of Arabic. No. Make dua of any language you like. As long as the dua is clear and for the benefit of you and the ummah, not for anything bad for anyone, except the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, another thing. جزاكم الله خير وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على محمد وآله وصحبه والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.